Hi there, this is Kayvon, and I'm a part of Katie Groves. And I want to first apologize for any background noise. We do our best to record in a quiet space, but we can't control all the noises that happen outside of our apartment. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about some boundaries of ours, about the comment sections and our emails. And I'm hoping that this is the last time that I'm going to feel compelled to make a video of this kind, as I've made a few lately. But I wanted to make a final video for now, just laying out all of our major boundaries and not try to justify them, but try to convey to people why it is important to respect them in a way that we hope will sink into those who are struggling to, or who may not otherwise understand, so that hopefully they can be met as much as possible. I first want to say that I deeply appreciate all of the support that we have gotten on this channel. It means so much to us. I don't even know how to convey how much I appreciate the love that so many of you have given us. And so, to those who have been respectful and kind and empathetic, most of what I say in this video won't be for you, but I do hope that you'll still listen, because there might still be things in this that you weren't aware of that may help you to be even more helpful and even more respectful of our boundaries. Because, well, if you don't know what they all are, then you might not think to respect them. So, that being said, we have also been struggling deeply with the hate comments we have received on here. And I want to be perfectly honest. Trolling really affects us. It really hurts us to be disbelieved. It really hurts us to be called names. We can't avoid that. That is how we are. We are a sensitive person. We are making ourselves deeply vulnerable and speaking about our traumas on here. And so yes, when people lash out at us, it hurts. And if you're one of those people, and that was your goal, well then, congratulations. If we saw your comments, you likely succeeded. That being said, we do not actually have to take that abuse or expose ourselves to it anymore. And what we are doing now, like we said in the previous video, I think our last one, is we are having our boyfriend screen our comments and emails from now on. We're still struggling with activation to look at the comments, but it's getting a lot better, and I think that the compulsions too will pass, and we'll be able to detach and just let our boyfriend help us with this process, like he has so graciously stepped up to do. That being said, he is a trauma survivor also. He's not, to our knowledge, an MKUltra victim, but he has been through a lot of different types of terrible, terrible, complex trauma in his life. And he gets very triggered by the abusive comments towards me too. So, again, if you're a troll and you want to hurt my boyfriend, well, congratulations. He's a vulnerable person too. You may succeed. I think he is, however, a lot less easily hurt by that stuff than I am. So, you're going to miss out on most of that glorious pain you're seeking to inflict by me not reading your comments myself. So, yeah, to those who are abusive, I don't expect you to stop. You might very well just be that way, but I'd certainly like you to, and I certainly do have things to say to you. I'm just going to focus on the rest of this video being for people who I think actually have a real chance at changing some of their harmful behavior. So, some basic boundaries that we want to set here. Probably the number one thing we want to get across in this video is that we do not do well with much unasked for advice, especially when it comes in the form of commands or directives. Two different words for the same thing, really. We've gotten a lot of comments, I should say, with emphasis, telling us what to do, telling us to stop sharing so much, we're making ourselves too vulnerable, telling us to disable our comments, telling us to convert to Christianity, telling us to do all kinds of things. And a lot of them seem really benign. And a lot of them seem like they come from a well-intentioned place. But the thing is that no matter what it is that you say when you tell us what to do, you are still telling us what to do. And what that does is it activates our programming that tells us to do whatever you say. And again, to the abusive people who may be watching this, no, I'm not automatically going to do whatever you say if you tell me to do it. It's just, it will activate me in a way that is harmful and that may make me feel compelled to take on your words in a way that I really don't need to. So, what I ask from people is that if you think you know of something that may be helpful to me, that you try to maintain some basic boundaries when you tell me about it. I'm not telling people that I'm not open to suggestion. In fact, I really welcome any thoughts from people about what they think may be helpful to me, but the way I find it appropriate to be put is something along the lines of, hey, I see that you're struggling with this thing. And I myself have personally struggled with this thing, or I have a friend who struggled with this thing, or I have this intuition about it even though I don't really have personal experience with it, and I'd like to share it with you. And then just put out there what's helped you, what's helped your friend, or what you think may be helpful to me in a very gentle way, and one that maintains respect for me as an autonomous human being. If you recognize that I am an adult who is fully capable of making their own decisions, then you're probably not going to do wrong in this regard. Because it's really an attitude that people have towards me that causes their words to come out in the problematic ways that I've been describing. It's an attitude that I am a disempowered victim who needs to be controlled or reprogrammed to do things differently. My mind was largely stolen from me through MKUltra, but I am deprogramming myself every day to gain it back. And it only disrupts my process to have other people try to redirect my mind in other ways, thinking that I cannot do it myself. So, especially if you have had personal experience with the issues I describe in my videos, I absolutely welcome you to share what has worked for you, or what your intuition tells me might work. What your intuition tells you might work for me. But I just ask you to do it respectfully. I want to pause and say I have been overheating and dehydrating terribly. I cannot seem to retain hydration right now, so I'm having trouble going on. But I'm going to attempt to finish this video and say the things I wanted to say. I just might have to do so pretty briefly. The next big thing is religion. This is a difficult subject for most people, I think, and especially for the people who have been violating our boundaries around this on our channel. We have made an in-depth video called How to Be a Christian Ally to Satanic Ritual Abuse Survivors, and we're going to put a link to that in the description below. And we hope that Christians, specifically evangelists, watch that video and try to take in things we've said, but if you can't or don't want to, that's okay. To very briefly summarize what's in that video. We were programmed to experience extreme torture when we think about Christianity. And we have done a lot to deprogram this, but we are still in the process. And I don't think we said this in that video, but I want to say here that our process has been hindered very significantly by our exposure to forceful Christians on this channel. We have been activated on a near daily basis by people trying to push Christianity on us in ways that have truly stunted our deprogramming process around this, so that we may be able to actually accept more Christian teachings in the future. I'm not saying that I think I'm ever actually going to become a Christian, but I really like a lot of the things that are in the Bible, and I've actually put a lot of work into being as open as possible to Jesus' teachings as I can. But, like I said, it has been largely hindered, this process. I've been largely hindered in this process by people commenting on my videos, telling me to become a Christian, and telling me that I'm doing life all wrong and that I am a Satanist because I do earth worship and all this stuff that's very triggering and traumatizing for me. So if you are a Christian and you would like to see me become a Christian, the absolute best thing you can do is leave me alone about it. And even better, perhaps, would be reaching out to me in an appropriate and gentle way that may open the door to me actually connecting with you about it in the future. But really, right now, I'm so traumatized by it, I'm probably not going to be having my boyfriend show me any comments talking in any depth about Christianity for quite some time. This applies to emails too. I have a folder for emails that trigger me around Christianity, and I may not be looking at emails in that folder for a long time. So if you want to talk to me, just please understand that you have to respect my boundaries in this way. And it's not just me. This applies to other SRA survivors as well. If you comment, leaving long comments about Bible verses and using lots of religious terminology, you may send other SRA survivors into a lot of trauma and a lot of pain. And so if you want to help the survivor community, absolutely share the light of Christ with people. Just focus on the light part rather than the language of the Christ part. And I think that you will do a lot of good. The last thing I want to say for now in this video is about donations. I have said on this channel that I do not accept donations from people. I do not accept money. I do not accept physical gifts. What I will accept are certain services if people want to do certain things for me for free. Like, for example, help me go through my videos to see if there are subliminal messages in them, as I found a couple already in 2 of my videos. Or if somebody is available to do Skype therapy or some kind of energy healing, or I had somebody offer to do art for me, that would be healing. There was an artist on here who has offered to draw or paint me something. I will accept things like that if I think it's healthy or appropriate. But I do not let people mail me gifts. I do not let people send me money. If you send it to me, I won't accept it. However, I'm putting this out there again because last night I saw that somebody had sent me an e-gift card to a website, and I don't know if this person saw my video where I said I don't accept that. And so if that person is watching, I really do not want you to feel guilty in any way for having done this. But when I received the email, I was in a very dissociated state, and I was not fully aware of my boundaries around this, and I was specifically triggered by something in the person's username that all of my triggers compounded, and I accidentally accepted the gift. And after I did so, I got very activated in ways that were very harmful for me. And I have since subsequently contacted some survivor friends of mine who I know accept donations. In the case of one person, I'm not sure if they do. I'm waiting to hear from them. And I'm going to be dividing the gift amongst them and mailing them stuff from this website at their request. So I'm making use of it, but not for myself because, like I said, it is not part of my boundaries right now that I'm accepting that stuff. And so it's harmful for me too. It would be harmful for me to spend that money after dissociatively accepting it due to a lack of groundedness around what my boundaries were in that moment. So my point in sharing this story is that if you hear me say this and you still think that somehow I need whatever money or gifts you're trying to offer, and you try to push this on me anyway, it can end up being very harmful for me. Not only will I feel violated and disrespected, but it could actually trigger me into accepting something that I don't want to accept, which could then just cause all sorts of confusion for my dissociative system, all sorts of conflict. It's whatever you have to give me, it's not worth that suffering. So I'm really just saying this to all the codependents who are watching. When somebody tells you that they are not able to accept a certain kind of help, whether it makes logical sense to you or not, why? It is really important that you respect that person's boundaries, because you're not likely to fully understand why I can't do that. Even though I've explained some of why, you're not likely to fully understand because you're not me and you don't know my whole story and you don't know all of what I'm dealing with right now. So rather than make assumptions that you know what's best, I beg you, I beg all of you watching this to remember that we are an adult. We are not a child. We are fighting our way out of mind control, and that means that we need people to be as respectful of our boundaries as possible. Okay, that's all I've got for this video, and I just want to thank everybody who has been respectful, and oh yeah, I have one more thing to say. I forgot to say this. I said it in a previous take of this video, but I forgot I hadn't said it here. One thing that really triggers us and triggers a lot of other mind control victims is the use of caps lock. When you make comments or emails, if you put things in caps, it can be really activating. You may notice that we ourselves hardly ever use caps. I don't know if ever on our channel, with the exception of the word MKUltra. We have personal reasons for capitalizing that word. And because I'm really dehydrated, I'm not going to go into it right now. But that is an exception for us. We do capitalize that. If you capitalize it, we see it, it will trigger us and possibly others. We're not going to be hypocritical and tell you that you can't do that or shouldn't do that. But just generally speaking, other than that, we don't use caps for that reason. And we think it would be really helpful for people to know that using caps can be activating for survivors of trauma-based mind control, and that if you want to show emphasis, there may be other ways. Okay, I think that's all I have to say for this video. Oh, though, part of me wants to say something else, so I'm going to let that part take over real quick, and then we'll end this. This is long enough. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a part of the system. I haven't introduced myself before, but I have spoken on here under the name of Katie. And I just wanted to throw out there that a lot of people have been making assumptions about various aspects of the way we run our channel and various things about us in general. And I would just like to put out a reminder that the vast majority of you who do this, I'm going to take a guess and say are not MKUltra survivors. And I just want you to remember that it may not occur to you why we do certain things if you don't have knowledge of MKUltra. And even if you are a survivor, it may not occur to you, but I really don't think that survivors are the ones who've been saying most of the stuff that I'm referring to, and I know I'm being vague, but I just hope that people in the general public who watch this could maybe be a bit... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm glitching. I'm not used to speaking on here with this flashing red dot in my face from the camera thing. I would really appreciate it if you all would take time to consider that MK Ultra is a world within this world that is so complex, so intricate, so vast, that if you do not have personal experience with it, you just may not be able to understand where we're coming from on a lot of issues. And to assume that everything we say in our videos is everything we have to say about a particular subject, or can say, or know, it's frustrating for us. It's frustrating for us when we make a video and say that we have a lot more to say about a subject than we can, so we're just going to say a few brief things that we think may help point people in the right direction, and then people get extremely reactive, claiming that we don't know anything about what we're talking about because we didn't say certain things. That's very insulting to us, and we don't appreciate it. So I just wanted to put out there, I don't like it when people do that, and I really hope that people would consider that you don't know everything about us, you don't know our whole system, you don't know... Fuck, I hate to say it, but I don't think that a person can know what MK Ultra and Monarch really is without experiencing it. So, and just hope that people are able to hold their judgments and assumptions back a little bit more than they are. Because, God, some of the shit that we've been seeing on this channel has been ridiculous. Okay, that's all I've got to say. I myself am going to be detaching completely from the comment sections and letting our boyfriends and other authors handle this, so I'm not going to be seeing it anymore, but I am affected by the trauma from the system. So if we ever do, just know it's not okay. Alright, thanks.